All right, hello everyone. So let's take a look at Thursday. Now, yesterday there was also a good opportunity to enter, and I also talked about this zone here, and I've posted on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, I do recommend you do it. I'll tell you why. Because you guys know, as the members, you guys know the hours and everything way ahead of everybody else, okay? But the market moves really quick, so sometimes just posting it on Twitter is the just like easier thing to do, because I can just grab a screenshot, bang it, and you guys can see where I've entered the trade, where my stop losses are and everything. So, you guys have an idea of what's going on. These are the Astro hours in the rectangle. Okay, and you can see I've put the targets up there as well, what I'm expecting. But technical analysis from me, then you already know your target zone is also this zone here. And that's basically pretty much what we're talking about. So, if you're following, if you're in the members area, you already know what we're thinking about. So all you got to do is just really apply it with money management, and that's it. And don't panic. Now, remember yesterday I also said Asia hours are going to be important, and this is the Asia hours, all right? And this is important. This is the place where the market bounced off. As you can see, they just could not breach this zone because of astrological factors there. And there was like quite a few of them there, and it was going on all this time, these hours during this period. And it just, you see, they just didn't let it move. Now let's take a look at the PST indicator. Well, PST says we're going high, and look where they bought. So if you're using the 8 a.m. strategy, you immediately understand there's a breakout. That's your goodbye kiss. 65, 2,184 on the price. It's your Astro hours. 2,184 on the price is there, okay? And the market just at the daily pivot just held it there. This price is still important today. We've got news coming in today. So if the market dips down to anywhere, look for a setup to go up. Why? Because we've got this 73 here, 2,220, which is a target I've put in. Now I'm going to get rid of this box. So let's turn this into an hourly chart. I'm just going to get rid of this because we've got news today. So let's not cause any confusion with extra lines all over the place. Bring this back into the 15-minute chart. We've got to be a bit clean with the way we're trading, right? This is the previous week's high. So this is a target zone. We can get up into this 2,216 and 50. Now look, 79 is 2,242. I've got 81, 2,252. I've got 82, 2,268. So 2,242, 52, 68 are on the daily. And they are, as you can see, way, way up there. So what I'm going to do, this was on the daily yesterday. So I'm going to bring this. I'm going to put this on 42. I'll put this on 52. A little bit more down. All right, if we get there, you can think about 68 as well. Just make a mental note of it. All right, because if it's on the PST, you want to make a mental note of it. The 84 is too far out there. It's 2,293, but it has potential to get there. And remember what I talked about, the 3 taps. I said maybe we'll go up and have a 3 tap, 1, 2, 3, and then do a big A, B, C down, and then keep pushing up and see how things pan out. All right, so that's the kind of layout. But this breakout is nice for us. If the market dips down somewhere, we want to make use of it. Here on the price, it was 2,184, and also at 65, it's 2,184. The lowest it did today is 66.20. All right, so still a bit shy over there, but this is still a good sign for us. With the news, you can dip down. Now, if the market comes down into 10 past 2, 2:30, whatever, it's not a bad spot to start setting up. Now, if you're going to trade the news, okay, I'd be careful because of sudden moves. and slippage, right? If you get into a slippage, you might just find yourself in a mess. So wait for the news announcements if you want. And then once you see the direction, go with the direction. Why? Because I've already posted in the members area this morning that once we find the direction, once we understand where we're going, we know it's going until 9 o'clock and has a potential to keep going until 10:15 to closing. So the whole idea here is this. We've got a breakout on gold. So if the market it gets choppy, right, it's going to go up, down, whatever. Once we find the direction, it's got potential to keep pushing until at least 9 o'clock, which gives me after 6:45, 2 hours, right, from let's say 7 to 9 my time. It gives me enough to get in somewhere to get some money. All right. But if you're going to trade before the news, you got to be careful with your slippage. So you might want to keep your lots small or just let it go. Let the news announcement go. Let the market do its funny moves and then find a place to get in. Then go to the target with your proper money management so you don't get screwed over with all the choppy noise. Okay, but I hope that makes sense. All right, so we've got a good push up. I said this was a runner. Buying the lows was okay. And if you entered with me on those Twitter notes at the Astro Hours, I gave it for yesterday and the day before yesterday and the day before yesterday. I kept giving it on Monday. Here I said, Tuesday here I said, Wednesday here I said. I kept giving you every day. Today we're already on the highs. You see the market has got this, potential to boost up, and this was a good zone. This is why I said Asia session, you got to look out for. This is a good zone to trade, and rightly enough, the market bounced off here. So we may not break this level. We'll see how things pan out, and this could probably go because we could have a breakout until 8:30. What did I say here? You got to read between the lines sometimes. Be mindful for sudden moves like stop hunts until 8:30. Sudden move also means we could have a breakout. So 7:35 to 7:55, we're going to be at a place. And then until 8:30, we got to be careful. So you don't want to be selling here at 7:35, 7:55. So you might be saying, well, why do you put that hour there? Why? Because if there's a breakout, it should come until 8:30. That means I can also trade a breakout. All right, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. All right, that's just how it is. Now, yesterday I was also showing you how to use the ATAM like on the 1 hour, because yesterday I got in really nicely on the pullback right there, not here, right here on the 1 hourly chart. Why? Because we had a breakout. This bar here, this red one on the 1 hour came back to a goodbye kiss. And once it was in a goodbye kiss after the breakout, that was like, that's it, we're going in. And then this bar came in, and you can see in like an hour to, this is a 3 hour chart. So in 3 hours, we're like already pretty much done deal with the profit and out of the game. If you wanted to get back in, the retracement was good, going back into the target, retracement, going back into those levels. And remember, I said I put everything up here on Wednesday morning. So until Friday, we're all covered with everything. So we've got potential to push up, and that potential you can definitely use today. If there is a, just be mindful with the news, because that's going to be choppy. And I see it in the stars as well. The market is going to get choppy. All right. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now, this is obviously going to get choppy as well. If you're trading the euro dollar, this was also a smooth operator. This was a bit in the middle of nowhere, as you can see. If you took a trade here, okay, you would have been, if you went long and kept your stop tight, as we do, you might have gotten stopped out here, okay? And sometimes it happens to me too. That's just part of the game, but it should not have been a big, deal, okay? Because our stop losses are always tight, so you should never be in a big loss, never, ever. And then we had 720 which was also here, which is like in the middle of nowhere as well, which is right there. So not very good in terms of euro pricing, because the high made was there, the low made was here, and we're in the middle of nowhere here. All right, so that wasn't much we could do about that. And then I said the market still could push towards 9 o'clock. Again, 9 o'clock, we're in the middle of nowhere, because that's the high of the session. That's the low of the session. We're in the middle of nowhere. This is no man's land. All right. So, and then that's it. Okay. Pretty much. So not much to do here, as you can see. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Now, remember what I said about the euro dollar. I said we got the long-term vision, which is down, but you don't want to be a seller here. So on Tuesday, I said you can sell on these lines, and I gave you the level the market sold. Now, this is a tricky zone because they bought here before, on the one hand, and then this is a sharp sell-off. And this is confusion, as you can see here. Why? Because I got one price action selling, one price action buying, but closing low. And here we are. So this is not a bad spot to get in now, but you've got to be careful and be prudent. Why? Because this is a PST breakout with a question mark. This is why we've got this, right, for those of you who are using the ATAM. Oops. You can see here, this is a cross, okay? This cross means, okay, I've got a breakout, but it has the potential to be a fake breakout. You can still trade it with Astro Hours at a good price, no problemo, but be careful, all right? And this is why we have these levels. Now, the low of the day could be as far as 38, which is 1.0801. If the market breaks 1.0801, you don't want to be around there anyway. So 1.0801 is there, all right? Which is the low of the week. So the market can easily come back, retest, and so on. You just have to be mindful to see how the market is breaking down slowly. But this could be a great setup for a boom up move. Why? Because this is a good pump. This is a good retracement. Now we can have another good pump. So if you're going to trade the euro dollar, this up move here is already giving us signs that we've got buyers in. Right. So the potential for this to blast up back into the weekly or above into the high of the day before is possible. All right. So there's money to be made here. So the news can really take us up, back again. And you got those targets 1, 2, 3 there. You obviously have to cover the trade at the high off yesterday because that's where the big sell-off came. So this zone is a critical zone. So if you enter long, you got to cover the trade, move, stop up, or take partial profit. Do something. Don't just stare at the trade once you're in there. Okay. All right. So with the euro dollar, we're going to have to be choppy. We're going to be choppy during the news. So what you also have to do is check this out here. Now here we've got news coming out. Okay. So for the news, you have to be careful and see what's happening. All right. Now the trend is, as you can see, big fall. Okay. Big fall, as you can see here. And then retracement to where they sold off before. And those were Astro Hours, which I said you could sell off at. Market sold off again. So one more dip down here into the previous week's low. If the market doesn't break down, if it does a fake break, it breaks down and quickly comes back up, then you know it's going to push up. So what else you can do? If that's the case, that's how it's going to be. If it breaks down sharp, right, and then it's just like sharply broken down, pushing down, you have to understand we've got room to go down because of the monthly breakage here on the PST. And that could take us to 43, 1.0750. So the market's got, it could play in both directions. But once we know the direction, once we know where we're going, you can follow it through. All right, so that's on the daily. And if it starts to push upwards, then 1.09 is your first radar 1.09 is there. And that is also great. Previous month's high sweeping coming back down is also good. You see how the markets are playing in between levels, all right? So we just have to match ourselves to that. Now, if you want to play it technically, you can wait for the news, okay, and see how things pan out. There's already a breakout here, as you can see. So you don't want to be buying here where there's the opening and the closing and the daily pivot, blah, blah, blah. This is a resistance level, no buying here. If you're going to buy, you got to wait for the pushback or check out if there's a funny move around here, like a push down and then come back up and so on. You got to watch a bit of price action, guys, okay? And then match it to your Astro hours. So just put your Astro hours like I do here if you're going to trade the euro dollar, because this can go in both directions and it could be lucrative in both directions. SP 500 now. SP 500, we've got a nice breakout going into there. We talked about this before. Monday, Tuesday was a swing day, right? Wednesday, beautiful push up. Now we've got ahead of us the next swing days happening. Now with the indices, Thursday and Friday, if I'm not mistaken, are both swing days. That's right. For Thursday and Friday, it's a swing day for Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and for SP 500, it's just Friday. All right, so we're going to have to be careful. Also, gold is Friday, so pushing it up, is not a bad idea, right? We're going with the trend, and there's nothing wrong with going with the trend. So if you bought the lows, you should have been okay. All right, and that's basically it. Let me just refresh this. Here we are. Okay, and this was a nice pickup yesterday. All right, I wish I was in front of the screen at 7 looking at this. I wasn't. Okay, but this would have been a nice trade to take in because you're right at the lows of the previous day. That's your opening pivot there. It's an Astro hour. See, that's a good setup. Okay, that's a nice setup indeed. This is a bit in the middle of nowhere. Okay, this high comes in from the previous New York session, sold off. If you sold here, then you would have had a small stop out just under there. Okay, why? Because this was a box we marked in. All right, here we are. That's where the market sold off. The other place the market sold off was obviously there. Okay, whoopsie daisy there. And there's the gap they filled in here. So these things you got to look out for a bit and then check it out. But if you sold off here in any case, you would have had a tight stop loss and not damaged your account at all. Then the market came down. If you went long from here, bingo trade. Okay. And that's how it is. So the market's got room and potential to be pushing further up. Like I said, just be mindful for the news. I did put targets up here before on the weekly. Let's check it out. That's LCL 15,362. Just make a mental note of these. 5362 if you're trading them. And look, these targets are already pretty close. If the market comes back, where should I get in if it comes back? Well, your goodbye kiss and your support is at 65.64. That's 5,227 to 23. So if the market comes down first, 5,220, oopsie daisy, 23, 27 is that this is your zone. If the market comes back into this zone, this could be a nice buy-off level to push up. If it goes up first, obviously it'll want to get up into these targets, and you want to make mental note of that as well. 5273, 5271, 527173. Seven three 7.1 is there. All right, so this is a zone which the market will want to kind of hit on. 71.91, 71.67 is there. Okay. LCL1, that's 80 up there, 5,383, but that's a bit far out. You'll only mark that in if it starts to break above this 527161 zone. All right, which is there. So if we come down first, to go up is okay. If the market goes up, wait for the news to be kind of over and then see how things go. Right. Also, the 10:15 to closing may give us an opportunity in the Asia session to sell. All right, in the Asia session to sell off. All right, and that we can check that out tomorrow. Well, Asia session is also a bit tricky, but if you're going to follow the Asia session, look out for 4:45 a.m. to 5 a.m. my time, and also 6 a.m. to 10 past 6 a.m. my time. All right, that's how it is. That's how it is with SP 500. All right, so it's a little tricky because we've got news coming out. If the market comes down before the news and you want to go long, this is the price zone for Astro Hour buying upwards. Let's take a look. Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and Bitcoin. Now, indices, as you know, they go together. So with the Dow Jones, Thursday and Friday is a swing day. SP 500 just Friday. And this is just nice to see. When did that happen? 3:15. As you know, we had 3:05 to 3:40. That's your 3:40 there. If you entered long, you should have been killing it. All right, going up there, as you can see. All right, 3:40, that was it. In the New York session. As you know, the US indices are better traded in the US session. And then I said it should push towards 720. That's your 720, again giving you a good opportunity to get back in 720, and then bang. And I said the market can still push towards 9 o'clock. That's your 9 o'clock, so market pushing into 9. And I said it could be a turning time if the price is right. And the market went up. So it didn't turn around here, but it just kept pushing up, which is how it is. But remember, I also gave you yesterday the Asia session as well. You got to be careful with the Asia, and look at those are the high levels that the market did. Now, because Thursday, Friday is a swing day, this could also sell off. Okay. This could also sell off. So Thursday, Friday, looking for sell-offs from the highs is not a bad idea. See, this is a engulfing market retesting the highs. Selling off is logical, and this could happen with all the indices. Okay, so that could be the case. So what we're going to do, well, we're going to sit tight and wait. Now on the weekly, if you're trading Dow Jones, LCL 140,462. 40,462, that is too far out. Let me get this right. 40,462 on the 80, too far out. On the monthly, 40,076 on the price, which could be, I know it's still a bit too far out. We'll have to sit tight and wait. All right, guys, but that's just how it is. If the market goes up and makes a quick pullback into the low of last week from the high, it comes back in, then look for a sell opportunity. Okay, so for example, what does that mean? Oh God, if you know technical analysis from me, you know what I'm talking about, but some of you haven't taken technical analysis from me. Market will go up, do this, and then come back down, and then start doing the sideways move consolidation, right? What happens is that they would have done this fast move, and it looks like a peak here, as you can see, like a mountaintop. This is where everybody gets screwed over. This is where they leave everyone, and all the buyers who went long are now stuck with their positions when the market crashes down. And then it'll start to consolidate. It won't go back up here again. It won't go back up. They just trapped everyone there now. Okay, so if that sudden move is done and then it's back in there and you see it's going sideways, 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 and you've got an astro hour here, this is your sell, that's your stop loss. And then it should push down. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so if you don't know technical analysis, please learn it because your account will suffer. All right, that's how it is on the Dow Jones. So NASDAQ, we're probably going to have the same kind of setup. Now, NASDAQ has been behaving logically. It's acting much more logically than the other indices, which is what I've been saying. And I said, look, we're still in the box here. It isn't doing anything crazy. It's, NASDAQ is normally on steroids. This does more funny moves than SP 500 and Dow Jones. But look how it's sticking to its guns. It is not breaking higher. Now, this is either going to fire out or they're going to start selling off because buyers aren't coming in. All right. And that's what we want to be counting on. So the weekly support is 65, 18,063, which I've already marked in. 18,063 it should be. There. All right. That's your weekly there. Okay, your PST level. If it breaks down, we've got potential to go to HCL 117,868. 17,868. So just around there. And on the daily, the first support is down there at HCL1, 18,188. 18,188, which is pretty much in line with the weekly there. All right. So that's also support. This is also where they picked up yesterday, as you can see. Now, yesterday, this hasn't gone up higher. Okay. And this zone I talked about selling off. Unfortunately, this is where the Astro Hour was yesterday, which is, I don't know why we didn't have anything for 415. That's weird. Because normally it should pop up. We should have something there. But we didn't. So I don't know what happened there. All right. But as you can see, also, it came back down into the 7 o'clock, 7:20. As you can see, then we've got 9 o'clock happening here. And then from here, market taking off as well. So if you went long around here as well on the weekly pivot, okay, you should have been okay. You should have put your stop loss just under there because this is where the market stopped and picked up. So that's your swing level there on the intraday. So if you entered here, around here, you should have been okay. And that's basically it. So I'm going to just do this. This is what I mean with the Dow Jones. See how they did this big push up and then they pushed the market down and we're going sideways. Okay. Now everybody here is trapped. Everybody who bought here, they're going to get wiped out if they don't get out and cut their losses short. If they're lucky, the market will come back up here and they can close the position because they bought right at the top of the market. So we don't want to be doing that. What we want to be doing is selling off if the market comes back up again. All right. But you got to wait for the market news to figure out that direction, because if the market keeps pushing up, like I said, it can go higher because of the astro factors. So be mindful and wait for those levels. Now, this is a good impulse wave. But at the same time, what did I say before? I said this could be a distribution setup where the market is just going sideways. They're selling the highs, okay? And as they sell highs, sooner or later, the lows will break. And then it can start to come down. So this is a tricky zone which we have to play carefully. And this is why you see even if it breaks out, the targets are pretty close. So you could end up with a sell position. The market could just sell off. Now let's take a look at the 60 and the 61 there. Where are we? 60 and the 62. So 18,337, 18,337 is there. That's one resistance for today. Plus, we've got the red line there, which is 18,371. 18,371 is there. Right, so this is a resistance zone, which the market can come back up here, maybe do a sweep and so on. On the daily, let me see how far the first target is. 65, that is. 18,479. Which is logical too. 479. Oops, which is there. And that's enough to sweep stops and push down as well. So this is also a sell-off level too. So we've got to play it nice and easy with the market, okay? And that's basically it. If you want to buy low to push up, it's also okay because this is a great impulse wave. And as you can see, the market's done that nice push from here and from there. Now this impulse wave brought us all the way into the 37. Nice and easy discount. Going up is logical. If you want to go long, you want to do it technically with some Astro hours. This has to break. And then on a pullback, if it's an Astro hour, you can go up. All right. And obviously take profit there or cover your trade or whatever. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin, as you know, we're in the danger zone. Okay, so this zone, like I said, is a sell zone. They've sold off before, so you got to be careful here. I said you could wait for a new setup. So this could be the new setup you're looking for. If the market breaks above 61, we'll have room to go. That's 71,100. 71,100 is right there. So if it market breaks out, it could go higher. And that's also a resistance level. Okay, so it could go up there and then sell off. But you can see, look, this is the zone they broke. You see how supportive that is? They're now supporting the price here. Okay, daily support for us is 48, 66, 200. 66, 200 is about there. All right, so that's your resistance zone first of all. Let's get rid of that. On the weekly, as you can see, there's a big push down and then buyers came in. So this is like choppy and this is indecision. This is like we don't know what's going on. Okay, so you really have to be careful here. If you want to sell on the blue line, that's your LCL1. And the LCL1 is already too high for us to give a price. If you're using ATM, you just got to sit tight and wait. If it comes up there, you can look for a sell setup. And on the daily, if it breaks out, the first target is going to be LCL1 here, which is 74,267. That's the price you got to look out for, which is going to be dangerous. 74,267 is around there. Okay, so if it hits there as well, that's also dangerous. It's right on the daily zone there. Okay. And that's basically it, guys. If you want to go long, if it dips down and you want to go long, like I said, this is your first level, according to the way I'm trading anyway. If you want to trade the low of the previous day or this zone here, previous week's highs, this zone to go up at Astra hours. You can do that too with a tight stop loss, no problem.